Attention! Go!
So it's a nice patient start by both crews, particularly the Waikato crew. On the right of your screen, how do you read those first few strokes? We're looking at London now, Mark.
That was a clean start by both crews. They're off to a nice start, and this is where the steers person in each boat will just be looking to get inside the booms. Then they can relax, they've got their line, and then they can really start focusing on the racing.
That's a decent start. We're looking at the stroke man of the Waikato crew, Henley Royal. Fantastic crew that really dominated in the New Zealand Championships in the club scene, and you can see that's an amazing lead to have at this stage of the race, Mark, just coming out the end of the island.
Yeah, they've flown out the blocks there. Got nearly a length lead already by the end of the island. That's quite an advantage already. And, you know, this is always a nervous thing about racing at Henley when you've got foreign crews, because you haven't had the chance to race them before you get here. So you have no idea of the speed they are and where they're going to move and their race strategies and race plans.
Of course, I think the thing to remember about these Kiwi crews, well, let's have a look at the London crew. There's Hugo's story there. Came through London Youth Rowing, Mark, and that's something very dear to your heart.
Yeah, no, I work at London Youth Rowing, and for Hugo to come to Henley, you know, he was here last year, didn't quite make it with Thames, but now he's at London Rowing Club. His first Henley, racing down the track, and he's coached by another former member of London Youth Rowing, Steve Salter.
So there's a shot, we've said before, the 19-year-old stroke man, Henley Royal, you could see in the Waikato crew. Waikato, of course, such a famous New Zealand club. You've got the cox of the New Zealand 8, Caleb Shepherd. He's from Waikato. That's the New Zealand Olympic 8. Sean Kirkham rowing 3 in that 8 from the Waikato club. Used to be one of the great New Zealand clubs. Not so many men come from there now, but this Waikato crew, well, you can't see them there on the right of your picture, but the London Rowing Club B crew, I think they're trailing by well over clear water now, Mark.
And you can see how challenging it is out there today. As a stiff headwind, I'm not sure if the wind's going to pick up during the day, but it just makes the racing even longer. So it's even more tiring on the legs, on the upper body, and especially the lungs.
So we're coming past the point of the race known as the barrier. These falls will probably get there in around about 2 minutes, 5 seconds in these conditions, I would have thought. Which is Mark Hunter, the Olympic champion, sitting next to me in the commentary box at the finish. As said, is pretty difficult conditions.
And that's the shot we love. That is what's so special about Henley. When you got that drone up and it's looking over the course, you know, this just brings those images to life and what it's like to be in the racing, you know, what goes on. And you can see the kind of steering of the crews. London are starting to move off their station a little bit. They want to kind of hold that line and not be moving around too much.
So for a crew like London Rowing Club at this point of the race, Mark, I mean, they're probably a couple of legs down. What would be their tactics? I know the boys have said they're pleased just to get through qualification, but is there something they can do at this point to try and get back on the New Zealanders?
Well, they want to have their best row. They come to Henley Regatta, they've been training all year. You want to do your best performance when you come to the biggest event of the year. So they'll be trying to look for their rhythm, stand relaxed. And whether they go on and win this, you know, we don't know what's going to happen in the next kind of section of the track. But they just want to have their best row. They want to try and put them under pressure. But that's the thing about Henley. It's a head-to-head dual meet. You know, once the crew gets in front, it's very difficult because you can't see them. There's nothing to feed off.
So Henley Royal in the stroke seat, Maxime Tolle behind him, then Ron McKay, and the Frenchman Anton Nougaid in the bow seat. And it looks to me like the crew from Waikato on the left of your screen, well, we're looking at them now. They look very comfortable, Mark, and it's almost like they've decided they're going to win this race and perhaps conserve a bit of energy.
Yeah, they look very much in control there, in a like low cadence, low rate. They're not moving up and down too aggressively, swinging along well, moving well as a crew. And as you said, it's a 5-day event. You're racing every single day. You don't want to have to use your best race on your first day, so they'll be trying to work out how they can progress through the regatta without wasting too much energy.
So we're over the halfway point in this opening heat of the 177th Henley Royal Regatta. The drone shot we're looking at now on the right of your screen, the crew from New Zealand, from the Waikato Club in Hamilton. They are leading London Rowing Club's B crew in this event. They have led from the start. I have to say it's tribute to the Kiwis who have had their racing in our winter, so February would have been about the time of the end of their summer season, and they've gone back into winter training and come out for this regatta, and they're looking in great shape.
That's always a nice thing about being in New Zealand. They get to have their summer at home, come across here, have summer here. They get the best of everything. But look at that shot. You get the view of Henley, the layout of all the fields, all the tents, marquees, and the two crews racing down the middle of it. There'll be thousands of people surrounding the course come this afternoon.
And if you're watching us on YouTube, we say hello if you're just tuning in. We've got these fantastic shots of the regatta. The drone you just saw looking down the course at the finish time to the Forley mark, 3:51. I'd say that's pretty slow for this time, this particular event. With a bit of a stream and a bit of a headwind, there's no way that any records are going to be broken. But the Waikato crew on the left of your picture in the very distinctive sort of Jamaican flag colours, red, yellow and green, have a very comfortable lead over London Rowing Club B. They are on the right of your screen.
You know, London have come to this event this year with two crews, you know, A and B crew. They've won this event since 2011. And I gather if the A and B crew are training together, the A crew will have some idea of the speed of this Waikato crew now if they come to race them later in the regatta.
I was talking to Eric Murray, the great New Zealand rower in the pair with Hamish Bond, in fact the world's #1 ranked rower, and he thought this Waikato crew would be around about a 6-minute crew for 2,000 metres. Just to give you some context, the world record for the 2,000 metres is held by the British around about 5:47, I think. So they'd be competitive at the back end of a World Championship field, but of course in this event they are very, very competitive. The club event for coxless fours, Mark.
Yeah, and it's a class act crew. You know, they wouldn't come over all this way unless they knew they had some speed. And they've got off to a great start here, leading from start to finish, looking very much in control of the race. And as you said, they'll be trying to conserve energy for later in the regatta when they may have a few tight races.
So we can see the crews coming into view at the finish. They're around about 200, 250 metres away. Henry Wills, again, we've seen a lot of him in the stroke seat, the student at Canterbury University. And he has told the regatta he is not here to come second, which is a typical New Zealand never say die attitude. Really, they're just controlling the rate now, this crew on the left of your screen from Waikato.
Yeah, and that's the great thing about the sport of rowing. When you're in front, you get to look back at the crew you're racing, and especially when it's head-to-head racing, you can see how much control you've got, how much kind of distance you've got, and you can gauge your kind of work effort, and then we just relax coming to the closing stages and just think about kind of, you know, the kind of next race which will be coming the following day.
So a very comfortable win for the crew on the Buckinghamshire station as Waikato Rowing Club of New Zealand comfortably take that first heat of the Wyfolds. London Rowing Club cross the line, the B crew cross the line now. We'll wait for the umpire to confirm the result of that race by raising the white flag. But there is the Waikato crew victorious in the first heat of the Wyfold Challenge Cup.
All right.